Y'all. Well, welcome to another episode of Still Dope. How's my babies? Shahida, you are looking quite beautiful today. Not that you don't any other time, but your hair is on.
I just took the rollers out my hair.
Oh, you have rollers in. Looks beautiful.
How many hair? You've had a lot of hairstyles. We've seen a lot of hairstyles out of you.
Out of who, me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you got the most. Out of us two, I should say. Chris, you know. Sorry.
Well, Tanya, when's the last time you had braids?
The last time I was in Cali over the New Year. And I will be getting them back in again when I come out there next month because, you know, I just want to take a shower, put my clothes on and bounce. I ain't trying to figure out this hair.
Right.
I'm good.
I'm still trying to figure out mine. I just don't know what to do with it. That's why.
That looks cute. That looks cute.
Yeah, it does look cute. Looks
yeah, I literally had rollers in them just like 2 seconds before. If you can see what my bottom looks like, because
I can't believe how fast it's growing though. I mean, it's gotten really long in a short amount of time. And it's good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Somebody need to tell me some nice things about myself.
You good. You good. All right. So
Go ahead.
Chris got that look on his face. What you got, boo? Anything?
We missed you this week, buddy. What were you up to this week? Is he frozen?
I think he's frozen. Chris, oh yeah, you frozen, Chris. Okay. Oh my God, seriously? I thought I was about to be, thank God I didn't take an edible because I'd have been like,
that is so good.
That's so bad. That's so wrong. We're sitting here like, I was about to shut it down and be like, I'm gonna send it.
So obviously you didn't want to talk about what you've been doing this week. You just did the front.
No, I had a nice meeting with my agents, which was nice, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm down probably 4 or 5 pounds. Because I've been eating and stopped trying to eat so much. I just eat. I love eating. I just love food. You know, I just love food. And it's hard, like not.
I don't think she will let me because I know she'd be cooking. I just like to eat, but I'll do the dishes.
Who?
I said I want to move in with you and my parents.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to live with me now because or move in with me now because I'm trying this new Mediterranean diet.
No, that's a good one.
I'm trying it and it is really good. Like a lot of salmon, a lot of beans, a lot of like really fresh vegetable. Actually, I made a salad today with like, it's like I shouldn't call it it is a salad. It's broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. I like chopped it up real good. So I made it like a chopped salad. And what else? Cucumbers, tomato, all chopped up. I made it last week. And I devoured that bowl in like 2 days. It was a big salad bowl. I devoured. It was so good. I was eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm doing that. I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks, and I actually like it. And I love salmon anyway, so
that's really good.
Eating lots of nuts and stuff. What's the matter? You good there?
I just put my brightness up, so now you can see me better.
Ooh.
It has a nice glow, like a nice mellow glow.
This rain in California is some bullshit.
Listen, it could be worse because you could be in San Bernardino struggling like them people can't even get out their house.
Yeah, my friend is up there.
How far is that?
She has 2 dogs.
What's the weather?
It's snow.
It's so snowed in, they couldn't even she couldn't even get out of her house.
That's not far from you, right? We're San, like in.
It's about an hour and a half up. Yeah, about an hour and a half up.
Okay. Oh wow.
Like Lake Arrowhead and stuff. So it's
I saw it on Good Morning America.
All the food is gone, and there's no plowing. They like stranded those people up there.
They got like feet and foots of snow. I mean, to the point where when I saw it on Good Morning America, the cars were covered up. There was like mountains of snow in front of a house. And the correspondent was like, believe it or not, there are like vehicles underneath these cars. And you could only see probably about like this much of the house because it was just these people are trapped. They were talking to people from, FaceTiming or Skyping people from inside of their homes. And they were like, my son needs medication. A couple had to walk, like they could get out their house, but they had to walk like miles and miles to get like certain things. I was like, ooh.
Damn.
And here we are in the Northeast, Shahida, having the best winter of our lives, and spring is about to be upon us.
Is it supposed to snow tomorrow, though?
It's supposed to be like a nor'easter, but you know how that is.
Yeah, because that was like the one that we had a couple of weeks ago that was absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. So I take it with a grain of salt. These weather people up here are just, they ain't got nothing else to talk about. So that now they get a little bit of a event, and they're gonna run with it. So yeah, I'm not gonna believe it until I see it. I ain't got nowhere to go anyway tomorrow, so I'll just be in the house looking out the window like.
But before we get into Married at First Sight, I do want to ask Chris what he thought about the Chris Rock, because we talked about it earlier this week with Tanya and Tracy, and I wanted your take on it because I didn't see it.
You haven't watched it yet?
I did.
That's my friend's house in Lake
Oh
Arrowhead.
damn!
Just to get out of the thing. Just to get out of. That's next to her house. So it's
that's a lot. That's like Blizzard 78 for us, Tom.
Yeah,
this is her
right.
Climbing.
Yeah,
that's her getting out her front door.
We haven't even had like snow like that in a good couple of years.
No, we haven't.
Wow. Anyway,
that's crazy.
I saw it live. Remember, I saw it live.
Okay.
Was it January, December? Remember when he first came out, when he first started that tour? I saw it live.
You mean okay, before he.
So I saw the. Right. So I saw
so
it
it's the same
already.
Jokes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Some modifications, but you couldn't tape it or anything, or no phones allowed in the whole thing. So, I remember something for about 5 minutes, and then it's gone in my I'm like, oh, that was funny. What was it again? I forgot. First of all, he can't win. I can say that much. I don't think he can win. If he says something about it, he says, well, why people say, well, just let it go. Why you keep bringing it up? If you don't say anything about it, it's like, why don't you speak up for yourself? You're a comedian. So he can't win either. If he's too harsh, if he's too truth, he can't win either way, one way or the other. I think that, what I said, everything that he said was true.
Yep.
There was nothing in it that was not true. So just about talking about, how you're going to have the man that, talking about Jada and Will, how you're going to have the man come on there, cheat on your man with your son's friend, and then bring him on there on a show to emasculate him. You deserve scrutiny if that's what you're going to do. If you're letting the public see your messiness, when people comment on your messiness, you can't say anything about that. You brought it to everybody. No one needed to know about her and August Alsina. I should not know August Alsina's name.
Know
his name. It should stay in the family. If you want to have some messy stuff and do some crazy stuff with something, fine. So people find out about it. That's one thing. But then don't double down on it and then have a podcast about it where you're going to talk about. So you are open to scrutiny when you do that. Point one. And if Chris Rock comments on it, first of all, the whole thing with the alopecia, or not the alopecia and this thing. First of all, no one really. Well, that's just going back to the last thing they were saying. He could have gone, if he really wanted to go in on them at the Oscars, he could have gone in.
Mm-hmm.
With the affair
that
thing.
Joke, right. But the after effect of literal
thing was not that to me. We've heard that joke before.
I know.
And it's not pertaining to her, to other people. And it's not, I didn't consider it that insulting, but go ahead.
So for his reaction, I thought he did a really good job. By the way, they edited. He made a mistake in the live thing. He said a joke and he didn't come out correctly. So and good for him. He did the joke again. Did the same joke again. They edited out into the new thing. They edited the whatchamacallit out. So it goes seamless now. But I thought he did. I thought he sounded angry, and he has every right to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
What he said was funny. What he was said, he and a lot of it, as I said, a lot of comedy comes out of comedy. Good comedy is just honesty. It's just telling the truth. He told the truth. He told his truth. His feelings, how he felt about it. He didn't slander anybody. I don't think he slandered anybody. He told exactly how he felt about something, and so I support him. But all these people are all these people who are saying, "Oh, he needs to just let it go," and why is he bringing it up again, and this, that, and the other, are the same people who said when I was with Martin Lawrence on Martin, and I was slammed to the ground and hit my head, and he was being a complete asshole. Said, "Oh, why are you bringing up stuff because it's in the past?" And I was like, "I'm bringing it up because it fucking happened, and he's an asshole." So that's why I brought it up. Well, the same people who said that are the same people who are saying, "Just let it go. If he was a real man, he would have smacked him back." Really, little Chris Rock is going to smack Will Smith, and his point of like, the man played Muhammad. He was an easy target to pick. Chris Rock was an easy target to pick, and Will Smith picked it. And he's feeling the consequences of it now. No one wants emancipation. No one.
Nope.
I don't have any. Yeah, but I don't even have a desire to really see him anymore.
Same.
Does that make sense? I don't have a desire to like, oh, I'm not a fan of his anymore. And talk about fighting in front of the you don't fight outside the family. When you bring things outside the family, then you can talk about outside the family. Chris Rock didn't bring the fight out to everybody else. Will Smith brought that. So you're gonna have to fight back, and the only way he can fight back, really, or not even fight back, but just tell his truth, was by what he did. So I applaud Chris for what he did. I thought it was funny. I thought it was he had some really funny bits in there, and and for the people who were like, but he can't win. He's not. Everyone's gonna have something to say about something.
Well, no, I think it's just more or less of people who are Stone Cold Will fans and then Stone Cold Chris fans, and they're never going to meet halfway and say, oh, well, my guy was wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Will was 100% wrong for the slap. Everything after that, I mean, he lost a lot. I think he lost more than what Chris did. Yeah, Chris, because he was high. But I think Will lost a lot during the last couple of years because people were, I know he was feeling it because people were saying to him, how the hell do you have this woman sleeping with your son's friend in your house and you just okay with that? So it was a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't want to take too much time away from Married at First Sight, but I did want to know what Chris thought. So
yeah, but also he keeps punching down on black women. He punched down on everybody, on Democrats, on Republicans. He punched down on and it's not punching down just because you remark about Jada Pinkett and what she. I had a problem with that too. Like did he raise up when he was talking about his daughters, or was he punching down on his daughters too, saying that they're spoiled brats?
Nope. I mean, he spoke good about his children. He can call them spoiled brats because he's their father. What parent doesn't call their kids spoiled brats? Find me one.
Because they are.
Exactly. And I respected him for the fact that he could have went in on his ex-wife. He gave his ex-wife props. He didn't talk negatively about her. And all I'm going to say about this is he named that show perfectly, Selective Outrage, and he defined it perfectly. The same people like Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, one and the same, but y'all still listening to Michael Jackson because his music's better. And I was like, bam, right there. And people got mad about that. People got mad about that.
It's the truth. He's speaking the truth. And just like you said about his wife, but about him praising his wife, against himself. His ex-wife took his money, and he's like, I got to give her props for taking half of, taking my house and this, that, and the other, because she had a better lawyer. When he talked about the lawyers thing, it's like, so he's beating down on himself, saying, well, she took me for whatever, but I can't hate the player, basically. What I mean? So anyway,
all right,
2 cents on it. 2 cents on it.
Okay, but from what I've heard, and I haven't watched this comedy special yet, everybody was so outraged over what Chris Rock was saying about Jada. But from word on the street, and I'm going to probably watch it tonight or tomorrow night, Marlon Wayans' new comedy special, I think it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
They say he went in hard on Jada. So they were like, if you thought Chris Rock was terrible, go watch Marlon Wayans' new comedy special, because he goes in. So I got to cue that up, because I'm all for it. Look at here. I am all for it. Chris should have given her. Chris didn't go as hard as I expected him to, but here we are.
Did you see him hosting the Daily Show, Marlon Wayans?
No, I saw a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that, not compared to some of the other guest hosts. He was,
no, I didn't see it. Maybe I'll on demand it. All right. Married at First Sight. All I'm gonna say is, if y'all folks thought, let's all do a collective yawn for this past episode of Married at First Sight Nashville. But I'm digressing for a little bit, because for those of you that thought American Married at First Sight was messy, y'all need to watch the latest season of Married at First Sight UK. It's on Lifetime. You gotta watch it, because it's messiness on fleek. But I love the way that they air the show, how they start off with the bachelor and bachelorette parties, and that's how you meet all the couples. I also saw today's latest episode where they go on their honeymoons. They go different places. They go great places. Goes to a different.
They used to do that. They used to do that when the first show first started. That was the reason before.
I didn't watch.
They went different places. They never had a collective group where they got to talk to each other.
Oh, really?
It's only been the last 5 or 6 seasons, but the first 9 seasons they were all separated and they dealt with stuff on their own. But they figured it'd be good to have people you can commiserate or going through the same things with. That's only been the last 4 or 5 or 6 seasons. Because when it first started, everyone went separately, and it was everyone individual. There was never any group action, which caused troubles in the first place, as we see with Justin and what's her name, and then even in this one, it gets messy with everyone's ganging up with each other. Like, girl, I support you. What your man says, or even Clint or Chent, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Clint.
Is it Clint? Clint saying you should do so and so. Oh, she's doing. They didn't have any of that mess. So you have your advantages and disadvantages when they're all together. You know what I mean? I guess it could make better TV because there's a little more drama.
Yeah,
but they separate and still drama.
Before it was just the individuals that you had to fend for yourself with the experts, and maybe that is for the success of a marriage, maybe that's better.
I like it better. I like I like the concept of how they do. And there's way more couples on Married at First Sight UK. There's 8? I think there's 8 or 9 couples on Married at First Sight UK. Yeah. And they're incorporating gay weddings as well. There's a lesbian couple and a gay couple, a gay male couple, I should say. And when I tell you, y'all, please just watch the latest season, the first couple of episodes, and y'all are going to be hooked. I know just recently I was ready to give Married the franchise up. Now I'm all in, especially with UK. They are messy. And pay attention, folks, to Miss Whitney. That's all I got to say.
Have you watched Australia?
No, I didn't watch Australia. I don't know what channel. I think Australia is on YouTube.
It's on Lifetime too. No, it's on Lifetime.
Look at here. Let me just tackle this season of UK, and then maybe I'll watch the season of Australia. I can't do all three. I'd lose my.
I watched the season of Australia, and it's the accents. Y'all know I cannot deal with the Australian accents for too long. Even though I like that show, what's it, that Kath and Kim and Kath? It's an Australian show. There's a couple of them I like, but no, I couldn't deal with them. Burn my ears.
By the way, if you want a really quick 4 seasons of a really good Australian show, it's called Mr. In Between. It came for 4 seasons.
I think I've seen Mr. In Between.
I think I mentioned it before. It's 4 seasons. It was on FX.
It was on FX. Yeah, I did watch
4 seasons. Awesome.
They have really good shows, but sometimes the accents it can grate your nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's different when it's a scripted show compared to when it's the reality. Just how like Married at First UK, you don't hear those accents all the time. Those are the real, London street accents that you're picking up, and you don't really hear that when you're looking at the news or watching BBC shows. So it's a little different.
Yeah, these are the real people in the UK that they aren't the blue bloods or the inbreds like the royal family. Anyway,
and Whitney is a horrible person, but go ahead.
Oh, Whitney, I'm telling you, Whitney will have everybody's blood boiling. Like me and Shahida were texting earlier, and I was like, if I was a family member of Duca sitting at that wedding and Whitney was cutting up like that, I would have made Felina, whatever her name is, Aris's cousin. I'd have made her look like a saint because I'd have showed my entire ass on Miss Whitney. I'd have pulled that weave off, that awful ass weave off her head.
She's like Alyssa, Jasmina, and who's another horrible character that we just hated?
Chris Williams.
Put together.
Chris Williams.
Put together.
Well,
not our beloved.
This is the UK. Is the UK version? All right.
The very first episode.
The latest season. The very first episode, Chris. I'm telling you,
that's a season. That's a season behind because that was last summer. You
are literally going to want to throw something at the TV, and just pay attention. Pay extra attention to Duca's father. When he's sitting there, my heart broke for him because he's a lovely man and he loves his son, and he's sitting there the whole time while she was just showing her ass at the altar, and he just had his head down, his hands folded, and he just kept. This is, as a parent, he's just like,
yeah, I would have had to say something.
It was bad. All right, so back to we'll talk a little bit more about it next week.
The domestic version.
We're going to talk about our Americans over in Nashville. And I think it's the general consensus that, boy, this was a snooze fest of an episode, right? Jeez Louise. We're never going to be happy. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm never going to be happy because one minute I'm like, it's just too much. It's too messy. It's the drama. It's that. Then they give me an episode where I'm like, I need to see some shit.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, you all felt like the last few episodes were like extremely boring. And I thought that they were very revealing.
I'm just
episodes.
watching.
I enjoyed them. I just thought this particular one was just so low key. I mean, there was really only two drama points for me where I was kind of like, oh, but no, it was very boring.
So let's start with Kirsten and Shaquille. I'm just going to go down the list. I still think Kirsten's fake. And again, this episode rehashed my thoughts on Shaq, that he's got overly gay tendencies. Like,
really?
There's just something off with him that I'm just like, and then when he had his mentees over his house, and I'm just like, there's just something off. I'm sorry. He's got overly gay tendencies for me in this episode. I'm not saying that he's gay, but I'm just saying that he just got the OTGs.
I don't see that at all. I just don't. He's a meticulous type.
OGT?
I call it the OGTs, overly gay tendencies.
So OTG. I was like, oh, you said OTG. I'm like, oh, isn't
OGTs.
I don't get that at all.
I don't either. I mean, from a man's perspective, Chris, you know, you guys usually have a gaydar and things. I mean, he just seems like a meticulous, thoughtful, intelligent person. I don't see the gayness at all.
Yeah, that's why I said OGTs. He's tendencies. Just again, not saying that he just gives off that vibe on this episode. That's why I said the past few episodes, I'm like, he good. But this episode in particular, I was just like,
he was not giving her a break that she wanted.
Say that again.
His mentees, though, really dig him, though. You can see they really admire him. His people who he works with, you know, they really admire him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Shahida?
No, I was just saying too. No, but I like that point too, and that's another thing that makes me like him so much, because he's repping for young men and he's able to approach them on their level, but then to uplift them to get them to a better level. And yeah, I like that they all respect him and that they feel comfortable and enough to, like, you know, associate with him. You see, they did little videos, so I like that about him. Yeah. But I was saying about her.
So what do you think about him turning down that job, though?
He should have communicated it with her.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a conversation.
He should have, but you know what? That made me feel like, again, in the back of his head, he feels like he doesn't owe her a lot because she's not giving anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And I think he's regretting it. I think that was regret when they were laying in the bed or something or relaxing on the couch. And she was talking to him about, you know, we got to put the time in. And, you know, obviously she doesn't like the fact that he's gone a lot and he's working a lot and what have you. But he could tell by his facial expressions, he's looking at her like, and like, so
because he asked her to tell him something real. And she was like, there's just so much that you don't know about me, and it's going to take time. He said, well, tell me something I don't know about you.
Yeah.
And she can't think of anything. It's like, what are you, 5?
Yeah.
You have to have been able to talk to a grown man before. And you could tell that she has, in relationships, the guys that she's probably been with don't give a rat's ass about what she has to say because they didn't value her enough. And in having somebody say, I value enough and I want to hear what you have to say, she's dumbfounded because obviously she wasn't dating people in that type of pool.
Yeah. Listen, you're absolutely right. I think that if he's just a nice guy and she doesn't find it attractive, I think if he looked at her hard ass and said, bitch, she'd probably drop her pants. Just saying.
Someone act offended. I don't know.
I'm not defending it, but I'm just saying there are people out there there are a lot of women out there that don't. That's why where did the saying come from? Nice guys finish last, or nice people finish last. Some women don't find that exciting enough. They like think he's corny.
How are you going to literally say there's so much you don't know about me? Okay, tell me something. I don't know. What do you mean? You literally, that would drive me in. Oh my God, I would lose it. And you can see him going.
You can see.
But you can see. He's like, well, you just said, and he's getting frustrated trying to get something out of her, anything out of her. If you hate me, if you don't like me, at least say that. If you don't want to be with me, at least give me something, not this glossy fake.
She seems dumb. She seems dumb.
Yeah. She seems a little dumb.
I hate to put it bluntly like that, but listening to her try and like pick words or complete sentences about something real, and she keeps saying she wants something real, but she doesn't have anything to bring to the table on that. That's what I'm saying. She hasn't dated anybody worth anything before.
No.
But what I do like about him too is that he is not caving to her at all.
No.
I like this plant. No, I like the other plant. Well, I like this plant because it has, and I'm going to explain to you why I like this plant. Well, you like this one? Well, yeah, I like this one. Which I think she kind of likes the fact that he's not cowering to her anymore. Kind of. Now, I'm not saying he did in the first place, which but you know, trying to please her. He's like, well, I like this plant. She's like, oh, you like it. Everything. They're exact opposites on a lot of things. And then she was finally like, oh, okay, well. Yeah, I guess we'll get that. We'll get that one. She is just, and then did you see the after party with her talking?
Yeah,
after party.
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I watched it because it was another. I was just like, meh.
You saw her start crying?
No, I missed that part.
I heard about it though.
Yeah, she started crying because Keisha called her out. Keisha called her out and was like, you know, what's going on? She's like. And then they had to give her a hug and console her.
Wait. Explain that a little bit more.
Because it's hard for her to open up. It's hard for her to, speak her truth or whatever, and this, that, and the other. And then Keisha was like, had to get up. And everyone was crying. Gina was crying. Jasmina everyone was crying because they felt so bad for Kirsten because it was hard for her to, and I was like,
again, people, just like UK and Nashville, it's like, what you signed up to marry a stranger and go on national television. I get it that it might be a little overwhelming at first because now you've got these cameras in your face, you've got these producers, in the background, all in your business, but you signed up for this. I still don't think that's Kirsten's apartment. I still think that's a fake ass apartment. I just think, I don't know why she went on there. Another thing, you bring these broken people on there that clearly need therapy. Like, fix your shit before you bring on a spouse. I don't get it.
But are most people messy now? I think most people in the world are messy now.
Yeah, I think when it comes to reality TV.
I don't think you can find normal people anymore. A lot of times, I don't think you can find many normal people anymore.
Then change the age bracket then, because this is just stupid. I feel like with her, I feel like she definitely did it just to get on TV. There's no depth to her. So that's what, and she probably felt cornered. I'm going to probably have to watch that after party because a lot of people were discussing the after party and saying that Keisha, like, who wouldn't cry if somebody was coming at you that hard? And then there was people, Keisha, and there was other people that saying that she should be fired, that, she's too hard on the gap.
No,
I like that. I think Keisha is perfect because Keisha holds everybody's feet to the fire.
There was a lot more for her than against her. But the people who were against her was pro Jamie.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But I wanted to see what the question was to her, because the way it was described and how you're describing it, it sounds manipulative to me. Oh, let me get the sympathy because I don't have anything to say. I don't have any comeback. I don't have any big, deep, dark secrets, but I need to make myself, more exciting to the camera to a point. And then definitely to get the sympathy because she knows she doesn't come off. And most people are pro him. So she doesn't come off well. And so it's another manipulative move by these women and guys, to get people to be on their side. She didn't have no reason to cry.
No, none at all. None.
And she don't have any deep, dark anything. Well, not dark, but just deep thoughts enough that she needs to share with him that she can't think of anything.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna say no.
I think so too.
Oh, yeah, I agree. If she continues on, he's definitely going to say no. I think everybody's going to say no. I don't know and I'm pretty sure that probably one other couple is going to probably.
Chris?
I think Nicole. Right now, Nicole and Chris. Well, are we done with our what's her name? Kirsten and Shaq. I'm done. Nicole and Chris. Nicole is going to be the reason. She's going to be the reason for her own demise at the end if Chris says no, because she has got to stop. She just looks borderline pathetic and obsessive at this point with the whole love thing. I get it, but let the man, when he's ready, let him tell you. You don't force him, because she's putting him in a position, and I'm glad he's standing his ground. And he's like, I've been in relationships before where I was, I got forced into it, and I said, I love you prematurely, and I regret it. And I'm not doing that anymore. I love the fact that he's standing his ground, but she is just not, she just can't let it go. And that is going to be the reason why he ends up saying no at the end. Because I can't be, and I'm with Chris, I can't be with somebody that needs validation every waking second of the day. Because if he tells her he loves her, she's that person that's going to be like, I love you every 5 minutes. When you tell someone you love them, especially a partner, like a relationship, when you tell them you love them, you shouldn't be telling them you love them like every 5 minutes or every day or whatever. I love you. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Because now it's like I'm desensitized and it doesn't mean jack shit to me anymore. I don't want to hear it. Stop.
I don't understand. I don't understand her, and that I still like Nicole. I still think that they're going to make it, but she is much, much more needier than I thought. I'm looking at her. I'm like, you come from this.
Don't do it, Chris. Don't do it, Chris.
What?
You don't you get that cigarette,
Chris? You have to stop doing that. You're gonna get the domestic violence people on us.
Chris.
That's disgusting.
We're going straight to hell for that one, but
yes, I'm
gonna have on gasoline.
Let me finish what I was saying before you clowns messed up my whole train of thought. You know I'm too old for you to be jumping in on my train of thought. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm surprised that one, she is as needy as she is. I was very shocked about, just stop and breathe, because she comes from sounds like she comes from a strong foundation of people. That didn't stop her from getting in these abusive relationships. So that's scary in itself. She definitely needs some help. As for him, and I'm just going to jump to his confession and then how she took that confession. It was, I got exactly what he was saying. Tanya, Chris, you know what? I don't have anything. I thought I had a
It doesn't surprise me.
So boring. The episode was so boring. I gotta get.
That's how you entertain yourself.
It doesn't surprise me that she's so insecure. It doesn't surprise. It surprises you that she's insecure.
No. I'm surprised that she's at this, with the whole conversation about saying you, I love you, and giving her reasons why. I know it's not going to be now, but then that was crazy to me. That whole conversation was absolutely crazy to me. It's will you relax? You have a good thing going, and you being so hyper into this love thing, I don't think she's going to ruin it. I do think that they stayed together, but I am surprised at the level of insecurity she has. I knew it from the beginning. I knew she was insecure. We're all insecure. I'm still my grown ass still insecure about things, but there are levels to it, and she really is at the very top.
I have mad love for Chris, because Chris, he was honest with her. He sat her down and told her, let me just tell you, because you're going to see it anyway. And I just want to prevent, your feelings being hurt. And when you see it, when it airs. And he told her about his type. And he basically said, you're beautiful. I thought you were beautiful. I think you're nice, blah, 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 blah. There could be something there, but it was when I was talking to the experts, he's like, you're just a little like thick, like.
No, I think that was a confessional from the honeymoon.
Right, but he told her about the confessional. Yeah. They showed the confessional, but he told her about it to spare her feelings for in the future when she does see it. And I respect him for that, because I think that's the first time I've ever seen someone bring it up, that he talked about it after the wedding in the confessional to her. I mean,
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, you could tell that she was a little about it, or
a little. She was
hurt. She was hurt a lot.
Like,
yeah. She made it clear that she was hurt, and that, but again, you have to respect people's types. When you go into a situation when you're dealing with strangers, you know, and you get matched up, you may not be his typical traditional type. This is why you're doing this experiment, because it hasn't worked for you with your so-called types. Now we've paired you with someone who's, you know, she's checked off basically all of the boxes, with the exception she's a little thick.
But then again, too, she's I get it. She had body issues or whatever, but she says she's learned to accept it, blah, blah, blah. Then you should understand what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? She could not connect that at one point, or I guess any man saying anything about her size or any woman's size, she automatically gets really kind of like bent out of shape. And I guess that's her insecurity. But I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, I guess if somebody told me I'm not their initial type because I'm flat chested, I mean, I would feel some type of way. I mean, but it is what it is. But you like me now, right? Okay.
I mean, I'm apparently not Aris's type. I know I'm not Aris's type, because like you ain't got no breasts. I got all kinds of titties, but I got no ass at all. So Aris would be like, no, next. Aris is a perv anyway.
We can move on from. Well, go ahead, Chris. Did you say what you had to say about crazy?
No, I'm happy that Chris is showing more. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice, inherently nice guy. But I'm glad that he's showing a little more. He's almost recognizing her crazy. He recognizes her crazy, so he's like, okay, I want to be nice about my mate, and I'm gonna try to, now he's like, I can't tell her. If I tell her I love her, she's gonna go really crazy. If I tell her, let me tell her before, because if she finds out that I call her ass fat, and she finds out later, and I didn't tell her, she is going to be like, do you really? It's going to be even worse. So let me preemptively diss her that I didn't mean to do in the first place, and let her know before it happens. Let's let you know this is what's going to happen. You're going to feel some kind of way. I know you're going to be hurt now, but if she found that afterwards, oh, I'm not your type. Why didn't you tell me I wasn't your type? No, you are my type. I'm just like, then he'd have to scramble even. He's doing a really good job with managing her, just like she did a really good job with managing his crying over the damn dogs. So they're doing a really good job of managing each other. Now he knows what kind of crazy she is. He's okay dealing with it. But he knows how messy she is. She's a lot. She is a lot. So he can deal with that, but he's got to figure out angles on how to mitigate the damage that's going to be coming. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just like with him, she's she wants someone to be a little rougher with her, but they both need each other. Need each other.
And complement each other. Do you think they'll stay together?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. At this point, I think if they're the only couple that has any hope of staying together and making
they're the only ones I think that will.
Yeah.
They're gonna stay together.
I don't know if Chris. It depends. It's gonna depend. Right now, I'm leaning towards it's gonna be a no on decision day from Chris, because I get that he's really working hard on managing her, and he's doing very well at it. I think by none out of all the seasons, this couple has superb communication with each other. These two talk about everything. I just think that I don't know if Chris is going to want to have to deal with this for long term with her body, with her her body dysmorphia that she admitted that she has, and just her constant need for validation. I just think the moment if he falls in love with her and he tells her he loves her, she might take that to a whole nother level, and her level of crazy might be amped up even more. Just saying.
I mean, I think that yeah, I don't have anything more.
They're gonna say they're staying together. They're staying together.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they both want it. Because that's the best part about the show is that they took two individuals that really need each other,
and I think that's
really
true.
want to be married. They really both really want to be married. They both want to have a family, even though she don't want to have kids. That's gonna be an issue. But they both really want a mate, and they're both working really hard about being a good mate for the other person. So they're gonna make it. And even if they're just gonna make it just to prove everybody else wrong too, because Nicole was trying to get Dominique to stay. Remember? And that whole dysfunction thing. So she would take her own advice saying, "Oh, I'm sticking it out until,
Well, she said that from the beginning, that she was not getting a divorce. She wasn't in it to get a divorce. And I think she 100% means that. And I feel like with him, he needs somebody that's going to, as much as overbearing as it can be, he needs somebody that's going to love him like crazy.
Need someone to fight for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight for him. Just like and she needs someone to fight for her.
Let's move on. I'm so tired.
She needs someone to fight for her.
Chris isn't a smoker, so she good on that level. Let's go to Aris and Jasmine. Aris is a perv. Sorry, he disgusts me. He's just disgusting.
I just have one thing to say about Aris, and I've been saying it every single week. He has nothing really going for him, so he has to lean on that. He doesn't, he does not match her level of intellect at all. And he obviously has a very good job, so he's smart in some ways, but he's socially inept. He doesn't know how to deal with women, and he thinks that's all he's good for.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Buck.
Yeah, exactly. The whole COVID thing. Again, I'm like, Jasmine, girl, get out that apartment. You all in that COVID infested apartment. I wouldn't go nowhere near there. But
as
she
a person who's been around everybody with COVID around me, and I've taken care of them, I get it.
Yeah, no, wouldn't be me. No. But she lived up to what he said. He's been saying this all the time. If I get sick, I know she'll be there. If I died and we had kids, I know she'd take care of my children. She'd be that good mother. She proved him right.
Yes, she did.
I just think that
the women would have did that.
I wouldn't have done that.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks in, no, I wouldn't have done that. Of 2 weeks in, I would have been like, bro, you got COVID? Oh no, I got to go I'm going home for 2 weeks. DoorDash, motherfucker. That's all I got to say. Hit the DoorDash. Get the meals.
Yeah, but that's her husband, so she wants to make sure. And also, if she said, I'm going for DoorDash, it would prove him right, or prove him wrong, whatever, because he says she's this wonderful angel. And if she wasn't that wonderful angel, she would look bad, and you don't want her to look bad. You'd rather have Eris look bad. You know what I mean? As well as she's not the type of person. She always gives herself up for anything, and it seems like that's just how she is. So she's not going to stop being who she is just because Eris can't really. That boy. He's
got a one-track mind, and it's all you. First of all, if you're not attracted to me, right, and you don't obviously I'm not making you want to have sex with me. The last thing I want to have a discussion with you about is sex. Period. End of story. I don't want to talk about that with you, because why do I need to hear about your escapades back in the day? And you are looking at me like you don't even want to hug me, let alone, doing all the shit that you've been doing, full blown orgies. Like, he took the assignment. He didn't understand the assignment. Get to know each other, ask each other questions. And then he comes up with
and diss her too, and dissing her too in between, dissing her by saying, "Oh, you're boring. Oh, you never cheated. Oh, you never
had a threesome
for things." For things that she's like, no, I'm proud that I never cheated, and what did she say? What was the other thing she didn't do? Oh, you haven't lived, or she's like,
yeah, that's what he said. You haven't lived, yeah, because she's never had a threesome.
You have a boring life. Orgy. Boring life. You have a boring
and been involved in like an orgy, and first of all. Yeah, that was just too pervy for me. I didn't like that, because every question that he asked was sexual in nature. And I was just like, why are you bringing this up? Like, you've made it very clear. And, poor Jasmine, she's just not obviously a confrontational type of person. She's just going to sit there and sip her little drink. Because my response after like question number 2, I would have been like, why are you asking me these questions?
Why are we doing this?
Her facial expression was kind of saying it though.
Yeah,
she looked
but
upset.
She should have said it. I would have absolutely flatlined if she said, why are you asking me these questions? You're clearly not attracted to me. You're not going to have sex with me. So why are we having a conversation about cheating, orgies, threesomes?
Let me ask y'all a question, because this is how I've been feeling about him for the last couple of weeks. Remember how at last season I said about Olajuwon that I did not believe his hype about all these people that he dated and his sex life was all this or whatever. I don't believe this guy either. It's to me, when you have I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think he feels as secure sexually as he makes it out to her, because he's going overboard to prove it. Usually if you are, like, look at Chris Williams, the old Chris Williams. He wasn't out there saying like, oh, I can get it or whatever, but he wasn't attracted to this woman. If you are just about sex, you can have sex with anybody.
That is true.
Him not even trying to do anything with her, but talking all this hype. You talking D-Dot at this point, you're either gonna do it or you're not. I don't know. I don't believe all his hype.
I do believe it, but it comes down to the quality of the woman. I think he's a little bit intimidated by her because she's educated. She's got her shit together. She's not falling. I mean, she's not saying she's falling or whatever, but he knows what he can and can't say to her as far as like being manipulative or what have you. And she's not going to give up the guts. Let's just say that, just because it's him, even though she's attracted to him.
She wants to, if he would make a move.
I think at this point, she does. And that's just why I'm hoping and praying that he does not push up on her, because I don't want her to have sex with him and then regret it.
If he hasn't pushed up on her by now, he ain't going to push up on her.
Yeah.
If he hasn't done it by now, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just think it's the quality.
And I don't blame her for not wanting to be, be with him.
Yeah,
not at all.
Yeah, it's just.
But I do like the fact that she's giving him a little shade back. She's like, "Oh, he's like, what's it like being in love?" And she's like, this, that, and the other. She's like, "Oh, well, what are you? Oh, well, we know that you haven't been." And I was like, "Oh, go ahead." I think she's doing what, as I said, doing the 8 weeks of, I said I get married, I said I deal with this man, I'm doing my best, he's not for me, and that's what it's going to come down to, and he's going to say it's not for me either.
Yeah, I think it'll be mutual beneficial. No. They're both going to say no. They're both going to say no, because that isn't going to work. He's just not, and the whole dog thing, she's never gonna stop with the dog breeding and doing all that, and he's made it very clear. He don't mind having the little mommy dog there, but he don't want all them other dogs. So they're just not compatible. Yeah.
No.
Which is a shame because she's a good woman for him. She's a good woman for a lot of men. And him just like not giving her even half a chance. But he just doesn't seem like the type. He's just a weak ass.
Again, if they would have wife swapped Kirsten and Jasmine, if they would have gave Jasmine to Shaq and Kirsten to Aris, trust me, Aris and Kirsten would have been rolling around in the hay because she's his type. She's a little thick around. She's got a big ass. You know, I'm assuming he thinks she's attractive. He hasn't said anything about it, but I'm assuming if they gave him Kirsten, he'd be all in it. And
I was thinking about what kind of man Kirsten would go for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. I think if it was Shaq and Jasmine or whatever her name was, Jasmine. It was Jasmine last year, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that would have worked out. That would have been
the next Woody and Armani.
Yep. I think Jasmine and Shaq would have been the next Woody and Armani because she, you know, yep. She
would go wherever that man went.
Yep.
Well, with her dogs.
She wouldn't care if he was working late and not at home. She knows that he's, mentoring his students. He's doing, great things at Tennessee State University for our people. She wouldn't care. He'd come home. This is the perfect example. He'd come home and she'd be awake no matter what time it was. She'd have his dinner ready and she'd be awake. Like, did you have a good day? Kirsten yapping to her friend. Yeah, I went to bed. Like he got home like at 10:30? I was in bed. I went to bed.
Well, also too, Kirsten, isn't she a real estate agent? Girl, you should be hustling. Is the real estate
there's something off about that whole thing.
Something off. Because her job is not 9 to 5, because usually you're showing homes after 5. So you would be hustling at night.
And she's been sitting at home all day an awful lot. So I don't know what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
for some reason go ahead.
No, well, I was saying
for some reason.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, baby.
Go ahead. No, for some reason, I think Kirsten is going to say yes.
Really?
For some reason, because the way she hasn't been really defiant about like, oh no, we all know, we've seen when someone is so like, oh, I do not like that. I do not like him. She has not given him any reason to be like, oh, I can't deal with that. I can't. The only thing we've said is his bald head. So and she seems to be like, even with the plants, when he said, I like this one, she's like, well, I like this one. She's like, well, I like this one. She's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll get that one then. I was like, oh, that was an interesting. Instead of her going, well, I don't know why the hell you would get that one, because he's coming back at her now, stronger. So I think that's attracting her a little bit more, making decisions without her, even though he should have consulted her. I think she was like, oh, you're not going to ask me, your wife? He's like, no, I'm not going to ask you because I made the decision. And she's like, I hate when he does that. I have a feeling. I just have a feeling that she's reluctantly falling in love with him. Reluctantly, like there's nothing about this man that I shouldn't like, and I've been trying to fight against. Even with the telling me, he's like, tell me more, and he's like, I don't know. And he called her out, going, how are you going to do that? I'm trying to get to know you. And I think she's honestly, I know I'm sorry going back to those two, but I honestly think she's not going to find anybody that's going to be patient with her like he is.
No.
And a nice man and a good man who's about her and who's about what she needs. I think she's reluctantly, and I think she's scared that she's fallen in love with him and is so used to being like, I'm the woman, I can do whatever I want. Anyway, going back. But Jasmine would have been good for for Shaquille as well. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep. Yeah. So we already know
Dominique would have been like his mentee. That's what Dominique would have been, a mentee.
Yeah.
She needs to be mentored, poor thing.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well,
not,
Arison, I don't. That's a thumbs down, I guess, from all three of us.
That ain't gonna work. That's not gonna happen.
Gina? Clinton Gina?
Clinton Gina.
I
like him.
I like Clint.
I really like him.
Yep.
I like Clint now.
I don't dislike him. I just think he needs a stylist. Dad.
Well, those are things that can be,
That's right. But personally, like when he was at the shop and he was meeting everything.
He's a nice guy.
I don't like Gina. Yeah, he is. He's too nice for her. I need to stop saying I don't like him because I don't have anything not to like about him.
Right.
Again, Gina is only there to advance her salon. That's it. She has no desire to be with Clint. She's doing the most because of the show. And she's going to do those 8 weeks for clout, so that she can get that traffic into her salon, especially since she's opening a new one. You know what I mean? Because notice, as soon as they cut to her and Clint, what's the first thing they showed? The fucking sign with the name of her salon. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure she probably had a hand in that. Was like, you better show that sign. And then they come in and she was talking about how small it was. We work in this little space. Obviously, she's opening up a new one. Trust me, do not get it twisted. I have a feeling that before this is over, we're going to see the grand opening of the new salon. We're going to see all of that. She's going to be taking tours of the construction, what has been done, where everything, the decor and everything. And then the grand opening. Trust. She's going to get that. She's only doing it for clout. That's it. She has no desire to be with him. She shows it. It's in her eyes. I always say eyes are the window to the soul. The way she looks at him she is just, she's not into him. They can be friends. They went to the rodeo. And what does she do? He shows her a good time at the rodeo. They're having a great time. And he's like really sociable. And at the end, they're having a good conversation. And I'm like, you should at least give him a hug and a kiss. She gives him a high five. Who does that?
She's not attracted to him.
She's not. She doesn't want to be with him. She's only married. She's married to Married at First Sight. Because, and if she makes it to the 8 weeks, unless Clint, is like, I'm done, I just isn't going to work for me before the 8 weeks, we already know that's a no. For her, that's a hell no. And I loved how Clint got his mother on the phone. Apparently his mother's a boss bitch. She's got her own company, very highly successful. And he basically asked her, is it all about work? Like, is it hard for you to make time? She's like, no. I can take off. Mom just laid it out there. You're like, she's the boss. If I could take as much time off as I want.
I mean, it does depend on the business too, but people make time for people they want, period.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
If she was attracted to him.
Just as simple as that.
That's right. If she was attracted to him and she was feeling the warm and fuzzies about him, trust, she wouldn't be sitting in that chair on her laptop doing work at the salon
in the other room. I thought you in the bedroom because they're in separate rooms.
Yeah, no, she was in the bedroom, but she don't have to. Why are you sitting in a salon chair with the laptop in your lap? You could easily do that at your apartment. And yeah, you're right, Shahida, about it depends on the business. So she owns a salon. She's got perfectly capable. I'm assuming she's got perfectly capable stylists that she's hired there. And I'm sure she has her clientele that she could, arrange her schedule so that she can make time for her husband and family.
And she would in a heartbeat. She'd be like, right. I'm sorry, Sue. I know I usually see you at 5, but I have something planned. Can you come in at 3?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. She, especially in that business, you can you can rearrange shit. and you've got your head stylists all there. They're bringing in money for you. So you making your money. So I'm like, you're the boss. This is your business. So I'm like, no, she's just not into him. And, you know, she's just went to the rodeo, went on his boat, which I might say, I was a little disappointed in his boat because the way he talked about it, I was expecting some big giant.
That's just one boat.
Oh, that's one of the, I know that's one of the boats, but I was like,
he got a whole bunch of boats.
I was hoping to see some
nice.
It was nice, but it was a little too small for me. I ain't getting on that boat. That's for sure.
Why not?
That was too much. I don't like boats, so it gives me. I upchuck my guts. So,
with my non-swimming ass, I'd be jumping on people's boats.
Girl, you'd have to
and knocking out. That's like the best day. Getting on a boat, it's like the best sleep.
Yeah, no, that's a no for me. I can't do it. The one time I got on a boat, I threw up to the point where I thought I was going to throw up my intestines. I had nothing else in me. And I was just, them dry heaves, and I was traumatized by it. And every time I see a boat, I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, that's why you wouldn't take the ferry too, right? Is that because you got sick on the boat?
Yeah, that's why I did get on the ferry. I'm lying. I got on the ferry a couple of years back to the vineyard, but I ain't going back again because I had such anxiety. And going to the vineyard, I was fine because it was a nice, clear, sunny day. It was warm and there was nothing. The waves, the water was just like glass. Coming back, it was a little rainy and a little choppy, and that was the worst 45 minutes of my life. I was like, get me off of this shit.
I was on a boat around Greece, on a boat sailing around Greece 23 years ago for 8 days on a sailboat like that. It was quite nice.
Was it a great day?
With five 25-year-old women at the time.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah,
so did you have
they're 28.
Did you have wine? A Mediterranean meal?
Mm-hmm. It was
Mediterranean meal.
It was nice.
Did you have an orgy, Aris? Was there an orgy, Aris?
No, I was Big Brother. Of course, I'm on with. First of all, being on a boat for a week with 5 women, the amount of estrogen that's going on there, I was like, no. That was like, no. I'm not messing with any of you. Is my friend and her friends from business school. I was like, someone had dropped out. And they said, I was in Europe at the time. They're like, you want to come? I was like, yeah. I was like, so I was Big Brother to everybody.
Nice.
But the cabin lady, the cabin girl.
Hey now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. So that's all I got for Clinton Gina. She's gonna say hell no.
I can tell you one thing. Clint's gonna have a lot, be very popular as when this.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
He's gonna be very popular. I think he's done.
Go, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
that was me.
No, I think that he's I think he's shown that he can be fun, that he can adjust, that he's willing to compromise, that he's willing to work, that he knows who he is. He really does know who he is. You know, I think he's going to do very, very well after the show.
Yep, and he wants it.
He does. I was surprised though when he was at the shop. I thought that she was going to give him like a full wash and trim, and I was surprised that she didn't do that, considering that she said she didn't really care for his look. So I thought she would at least fix him up a little because he needs a little trim.
No, because maybe he does his own thing. I don't doubt that maybe she said something to him like, "Oh, I could do this." He's a full grown ass man who gets his hair cut somewhere else. And when you've been probably like, I don't go to the hairdresser, but when you go to the person that you've been going to for the longest time, no, I'm not doing this just for TV. No, we're not doing that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think that if she said, I'll cut your, I think he would let her.
Because that's a very intimate moment.
I think he would let her. But you see what the girl at the salon was like? Oh, you look dirty or whatever.
I know.
He's like, oh, I was like,
that was so rude. But when Gina came out, they were going to the rodeo, and she had those boots on. Did y'all see those boots? Those were so fucking ugly. I was like, you look homey as hell.
But that's Nashville. I mean, that's Nashville. That's that shtick down there. If you walk on that street in Nashville, I forgot the name of the street.
It wasn't the cowboy boots. I get cowboy boots. I love cowboy boots. It was those cowboy boots.
Yeah, those were ugly. Those were hideous. And the whole outfit was just bad. Let's just call it what it is. The whole outfit, the whole ensemble was bad for her.
Homey as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Anywho.
I think Clint still has hope. But he's pretty sure that it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's not going to. They're not staying.
Not from her. Not from her. I think before the season is out, she's going to blow up about something. I think it because it's definitely not going to be him. But I think before the season is out, I see her blowing up about something and him looking at her like, this is not what I want. Or
it may not even be a blow up. It may just be because she's all about work. Like that's all they talk about. Or not they. Yeah. That's all she can muster up is talking about her work. And I'm sorry, that shit gets old. And I don't want to hear about that 24/7.
Especially since her job is not that interesting unless she's telling people's business.
Yeah.
That's the only fun part about it.
And I don't know no man. Right? Yeah, I don't know no man that wants to hear about your hair salon and all the cuts and
all
styles
the time.
And all the the hair salon drama that goes on. Nobody want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. So yeah, that shit gets old quick. If that's all you're bringing to the table, boo boo. Yeah, when there's nothing's gonna come of this. I think he's gonna say no. I think she's gonna say no. Because he's a smart man, and I think he's gonna see the right. He's trying, but as time goes on, he's gonna see the writing on the wall. Why even bother? No, it's a no for me.
I think that's basically how I think the guys, those two guys, well, him and Shaquille both are like smarter than we give. Well, no, we do give them a lot of credit. They're smart enough to know that these women don't want them, and I hope that at the very end that they express that and call them out, especially Shaquille. I hope he really calls out crazy.
Yeah,
but some reason I really think she's going to come around. I think she may have gotten to a breaking point to a certain extent. I don't know. There's something about the way she's kind of looking at him now, and the mentees, how she was kind of talking to. I know she's can seem fake, but it's hard to fake the funk totally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can usually see, and I haven't seen her be like, ugh, to him in a long time. Like, ugh, like you're just corny, this, that, and the other. And it's like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. She's like, okay, well,
that's what I was saying. He's been, when she looks at him all like, it's when he's been a little bit aggressive with her. She needs an alpha man he can be sensitive. He can be corny at times, but at the end of the day, he needs to step up. That's right. He needs to step up and let her know. And that's what he's doing. And you're right, Chris. Every time he's been a little bit aggressive with her, she looks at him like, ooh, I want to peel. Exactly. I want to peel like my shirt off right now and, take you in the bedroom.
But it's also like, I don't think she expected that from him. I thought she expected him to be just so like Chris, a black Chris. With the plants and the fucking bow ties and the sewing machine. And she's like, oh, everything's so fucking neat in here and this, that, and the other. But he's like, and my mentees, and he's a really nice guy. But he's holding his ground. He's like, no, I'm telling you, she's coming around to him. She's coming around to him.
I think I can see your point. I do. Matter of fact, I think you're right. I think she is, but I don't think it's going to be enough at the end because I don't think that he has the death that he wants.
Right.
He's not going to, I think he wants somebody a little brighter.
I think I think he's enamored with her too. He's always been enamored with her, and he's been trying really. I'm just. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But for some reason, I think if she was into him from the beginning, they'd be done.
Yeah.
If she was into him at the beginning, so I still think he has that hope of like, oh well, she's kind of coming around now. Now I kind of see I can be. I'm gonna be myself. If you think I'm corny, I'm gonna be corny. I'm gonna be Michael B. Jordan. You know, what I mean? If you think I'm gonna be corny, I'm gonna be corny, and you can take it or leave it. You know. But she's really coming around. I think she's reaching a breaking point of like, you know, I don't really want to fall in love with this guy and his scarred bald head, but I think because she talks about him glowingly too. She does talk to other people about him, like he's this, that, and the other, and she hasn't been that biting recently. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah,
we shall see. It should be interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I guess that's it. Anybody else got anything?
I'm gonna watch UK. I'm gonna watch the UK. Whatchamacallit? The UK.
I have one more thing that Chris, you might have missed this week. I'm gonna put Tanya on blast. Did you hear about her crush?
Thanks.
Did you hear about her crush?
Emmanuel Lewis?
Yes. That took me out. I didn't even know the man was still alive, but you know,
I know that's.
I'm sorry.
You know what I got him mixed up with? Arnold. That's who I got him mixed up with.
Oh, you thought I was talking about Gary Coleman?
I did. No. It was just, you know how like I knew who you were talking about, but when I thought about him, I'm like, didn't he die? But it was Gary Coleman that I got him mixed up with.
And again, you know, people watch the podcast about unconventional crushes because keyword unconventional. I mean, Emmanuel Lewis is that dude. He like is on the internet shading everybody. His level of pettiness is stellar. Love him.
It's crazy that you would have a crush on somebody petty.
He goes live every once in a while on TikTok. He'll go live and he'll be playing his music. Like it'll be like some random Friday night or Saturday night, and he's on there and he's playing all the old, you know, our 80s music that we were talking about earlier. And he's just sitting there and he's like got his drink and he's just chair dancing and he's reading the comments. And then this was when I was like, Emmanuel, me and you, we could be together because he is petty and has no problem with checking bitches. Some woman was like, oh, you ain't nobody seen you around forever. Like you must be poor or what have you, you know, just shading him. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm poor. All right. He's like, I've never had a mortgage. I got all kinds of properties and I've never had a mortgage. He's like, take that. And I was like, I'm sitting there like this. When he said it, I was like, oh, Webster. And I literally commented when them lives come on, I usually just see what they got to say. When he said that, I was all in his comments like, dude, that was a massive takedown. I fucking love you.
That's funny.
You know who I just realized who I have an unconventional crush on?
Who?
Martha Stewart.
Oh, I get that.
First of all, you know you're gonna eat well. You're gonna eat well. You're gonna have some stylish shit. She's got the weed thing. She's friends with Snoop, so she knows she's smoking weed. Bitch has already been in jail for making money.
Yep.
She seems coolish. She seems cool, but still Martha Stewart. She's a boss. I like Martha Stewart. I'm like, I can
mogul.
Hang with my.
I can see.
I can see that. Like I could see like even though she's like, how old is Martha Stewart? She's in her 80s, right? Is she in her 80s?
No, she's like late 60s.
Late
60s, 70, maybe.
No, I think she's in her 70s. She's got to be in her 70s. How old is Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart is officially, oh shit.
She's old.
81.
I knew it.
She's 81.
I knew it. She looks phenomenal.
I'm not mad at Martha Stewart then. 81.
Martha Stewart still be hanging. Yep.
1941.
Yep.
And
Martha
she's been
Helen
a looker from day one. She
Kostira.
was nice, huh?
Her name was Martha Helen Stewart Kostira, Polish, born in 1941. Wow.
Yep.
And still hanging with Snoop. She's hanging with Snoop.
She loves Snoop.
I am not mad.
Love Snoop. That literally is the best like little duo thing. Coming together like from absolutely two different worlds. You got Snoop, the gangbanger. You got gangbanger Snoop from Long Beach, and you got upper crust Hamptons living friggin' Martha Stewart. She goes to jail, she comes out, and all of a sudden she's just like she hanging with everybody. Not only she's like Rick Ross, Snoop, Kevin Hart. She's hanging with Willie. Well, they even got Willie Nelson in the fold now. You see the commercial for there.
In 2004, she's convicted of felony charges for the stock trading case, served 5 months in prison, released in 2005. There was speculation the incident would effectively end her media empire. But in 2005, she began a comeback campaign. Her company returned to profitability in 2006. She rejoined the board of directors of Martha Stewart Living in 2011 and became chairwoman of her namesake company again in 2012. Then the company was acquired by Sequential Brands in 2015. That's boss. That's a boss move. That's a boss move. It's good for her.
And now her stuff is being sold on Amazon.
Yep.
And I've been looking it up.
Yep. She's the epitome of a comeback story, because I remember when she went to prison and everybody was like writing her off, like this is the end of her empire, yada yada yada. She went to prison like a champ, came out like a champ, and legit. I mean, she is a mogul. I love me some.
That's a good crush, Chris. That's a
really good crush. Can you give us something that's gonna make us like be like, bruh?
Like somebody with
Emmanuel Lewis,
a white 81-year-old woman. That's not conventional.
She look good, though. She look good.
For 80,
I'd give it
anyway. But I don't know who else.
Didn't you have Helen Mirren? Helen Mirren.
Of course, yeah, Helen Mirren. Why is it old white ladies? But you know who I kind of just popped in my head real quick? Who I kind of like, and I think I could hang with? Hoda Kotb.
Really?
Hoda?
That's a good unconventional.
Yeah,
who's that? The chick from the morning show?
Yeah, NBC.
Yeah, the Today Show. Whatever. I just, something about her seems, I don't know. Seems really nice.
You know what?
She seems like she'd be really easy.
Yeah, she's an attractive
really
woman.
Easy to get along with. Yeah.
Easy and she's really genuine. She seems genuine. That's why I like her.
She's crush material though, or just hanging out material.
Look, I gave you Martha Stewart. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to come up with something.
He gave us Martha Stewart. You can't.
Hold it. I'll think of something. I'll think of someone else if someone pops up in my head. I'll be like, you know who I like? So.
Yeah.
All right, kiddos.
That's it, y'all. We've had a good time. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all definitely watch UK Married at First Sight. And until next week.
Come on.